So we're going to talk about solar requirements on an RV. Now we're going to talk about these requirements are going to be for up to a 24-foot long RV down to, a smaller one, you can put class A's, class B's, class C's, but these are going to be 24-foot length and smaller because I don't want to talk too much about the dual air conditioner units you see out there. This is for single units. And even this is going to be talking about, requirements for no air conditioning too. So let's talk about smaller ones first. Let's talk about, we're not going to include air conditioning on this. We're going to talk about solar requirements for a standard, camper van, or a smaller RV travel trailer. So today's RVs come with a 12-volt refrigerator. And these 12-volt refrigerators, they really suck down those batteries. And that's the reason why you see these solar kits on a lot of RVs now being standard, like 100 watts of solar kit, being advertised. The reason why is you kind of have to have it now because those 12-volt refrigerators are going to be draining that battery down very fast and you need solar to recharge it. So that's the reason why they have these solar kits now. It's not because they're trying to, give you an extra cool thing. It's really that 100-watt panel and sometimes 200-watt panel is just to run that 12-volt refrigerator. And that's it. It's not for anything else. Keep that battery charged up to run that fridge. So if you're putting that in perspective, then that means you need more solar if you're going to be running anything else. So if you're running, your heater on your RV, the heat's going to be drawing down, a lot of power. And probably another 100 watts just to run the heater. And then you have devices in your RV. You're going to be charging tablets. You're going to be charging, running a television. You're going to be running these little tiny things. And those, even the lights are going to draw a little bit of power, but still a little bit. So now you're kicking it up to maybe 300 watts of solar on the roof to run, charging devices, run the heater, and run that refrigerator. You're going to need about 300 watts. And that's if you have sun. If you don't have sun in your boondocking, now you have to have a small generator to recharge everything. So there's this whole mix of, what do you need to keep things going? Now, if you're running 300 watts and you're doing all that, you're going to need probably 100 to maybe 150 amp hours of battery power. So if that's lead acid battery, that means you need 200 to 300 amp hours of lead acid battery. If it's a LiFePO4 battery, then you only need 100 amp hour or 150 amp hours. Now they have many options out there now, and the prices have come down a lot. They're very, very low now for what it is. In my opinion, the power you're getting out of it, they're actually lower than the lead acid now. So they're win-win for that. I strongly say LiFePO4 over lead acid because of all the benefits that they have. So let's talk about running an air conditioner off of solar and batteries. You can do it and you don't have to pay a lot to do it. I run a window unit that's a dual inverter, 6,000 BTU. It can cool up to a 24-foot RV. So it can cool a pretty decent sized RV. It runs maybe 700 watts of power for 5, 6, 7 minutes. And then it kicks down because it's a dual inverter air conditioner, kicks down to a lower, 200-300 watts of power draw. So it has a really low power draw. And this is on a 90-degree day outside. So pretty nice, sunny, hot day outside. That air conditioner can handle up to a 24-foot RV with ease. And what that means is because you're going to be drawing that consistently down, you need a bigger battery pack. So bigger solar too. My battery pack is a 280 amp hour battery pack, and I think it's a great size for this. So it runs all the devices and it can run that air conditioner, so it's a good middle ground. It's not too heavy to do everything. Now solar to run air conditioner and everything, I have 500 watts on the roof, and I have a extra solar panel that I can just hook up if I need a little bit of extra power once in a while, because you always need power when you're out there. So if you get cloudy days, again, you need another source of power. And I use this little tiny generator. It's quiet. It's an inverter generator, and it says 1500 watts. That's peak. It's 1000 watts of continuous power, and it works great for this situation. Now, you want to keep yourself in check. So, let's say any case of, you're running 300 watts of solar and you're keeping things really, really low, or you're running an air conditioner too. You still want to keep yourself in check, because if you don't, you're going to end up spending tons of money on solars, tons of money on batteries. And what I do to keep myself in check is I use a 1200 watt pure sine inverter. And that pure sine inverter keeps me in check. It keeps me from going out and saying, ooh, 1500 watt skillet. No, I can't run that. When you're running a 1200 watt pure sine, in reality, you get 1000 watts, of continuous use. So I'm not going to buy a 1500 watt skillet. I'm going to buy an 11-inch skillet, which, by the way, I've tried it out. It's great. It's low wattage, and it does pretty much the same thing as the big skillets do. So I don't feel like I'm missing anything from keeping this wattage low. Coffee makers are the same thing. There's a ton of Keurigs out there that are 1500 watts, 1800 watts. There's a ton of, high wattage Keurigs, and you can buy this one. By the way, look at my website. I have a list of all these low wattage devices, because I've gone through, probably thousands of products to find these low wattage devices that can handle this type of thing. So take a look there if you're interested in low wattage devices. But like I said, keep yourself in check by putting a 1200 watt inverter on your RV, and don't be tempted to buy that, big, 3000 watt inverter. I know it sounds really cool, but if you don't need it, don't put it on there, because 1200 watts keeps me in check, and keeping yourself in check makes it so you won't spend, 1500 watts of power on the roof and a giant generator needed, and you'll need, 1000 amp hours of battery power, and all this stuff is going to break the bank. You don't need all that if you're just, keeping yourself in check by buying lower watt devices. So that's pretty much it for this. And like I said, I'm trying to give you good advice on, solar, what size of solar, to the battery power. The general rule is 100 amp hours of battery, or 150 amp hours, something around there, of battery power. You need about 300 watts of solar power on the roof, and that kind of works hand in hand really well. So that's it. And if you like what we're doing, please subscribe, because you all make it happen.